our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. Call up that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on.
Good morning. Whoa. The needle's coming off the computer again. It's Tuesday. What the fuck day is it? Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. Demetrius Nicodemus. Chris Tiefel. The P's, Donny P and Ashley P. And, of course, producer Georgia wiping the Lagunias out of her eyes. Jesus. Woo! Restart that computer real quick.
We did it. Hit it.
We did it. Donnie and Ashley. Wait, Ashley's back? Donnie's in the same room as Ashley? What is going on? This is a new day.
She got her beauty.
I can't get this stupid earpiece in.
That's because you've got little dainty midget ears.
I know. I told Donnie, I'm like, these were not made for people's ears like mine.
Yes, you have
You
such
know
tiny ear holes. Tiny ear holes.
Tiny ear holes.
Tiny ear holes in my wine. Make me happy. Ooh, no, that's gross because that's like earwax in there. That's disgusting.
Yeah, you can see the earwax in those things.
Hear me closer, tiny ears.
Ashley decided to Ashley what? Ashley decided to join us. Today she's not worried about her realtor friends looking down on her.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys are so stupid.
She spent enough time finding out what podcasts they're listening to, and she was like, "Oh, so you haven't even heard of this thing, have you?" And they were like, No, we spend time listening to real estate podcasts like, "Hey, that's a lot of land out there," and "What house are you living in?" Those are the top podcasts that we listen to every day.
And there's also Purchase This, Flip This.
Yes.
Purchase This.
She was afraid they were looking down on her from their billboard, just like.
You guys are so stupid.
My favorite
urban podcast, motherfucker. You know you want to buy this. I know.
My favorite realtor podcast is Smack It Up, Flip It, Turn It.
Yes.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea.
Turn it around for a profit.
Escrow yourself.
Yes.
Hey, escrow yourself.
The All Italian podcast.
Funny.
Why don't you go escrow yourself?
I love it. Good morning, everyone.
Something about crown molding.
I love crown molding.
Yes.
I would listen to that.
Which the royal family is in disarray today.
Really?
The last couple days.
Really? Why is any?
They're
we're shocked.
The interview shots heard around the world by Meghan and Harry.
Like they didn't know what was said in the interview before it aired.
Oh,
they didn't.
Look. Are we shocked that a 98-year-old white woman who was raised to think that God chose her bloodline to rule an entire country is a racist? Are we shocked?
Shocker.
Well, they
Really?
said.
I
read though
honestly,
that it wasn't even the grandparents. It was it's Charles and what's her name?
Well, where'd they learn it?
The wife.
Camilla.
I mean, honestly, she's 98 and nice now because she's on borrowed time. That's what old people do. She was a fucking shitty racist in the 50s, and now she's 98 and she's hugging all her fucking biracial kids. And and she's hoping God's like, okay, we'll erase one of those for her list here. Like that's honestly, if it's old and white, assume it's racist. I mean, I look at picket fences and go, that's a racist fucking fence. So like, let's not be shocked. Be shocked if Apple comes out and we're like rampant racism is running through Apple, because that's a new company and they should know better. You know,
it is a good point. I don't think. I guess you're right. The shock of that the 100-year-old white woman is racist is not really. It's not really a shock.
Yeah.
But so there's a guy, Pierce Morgan, and he's on.
Fuck that dude.
What? Like there is just a guy. Like it's somebody most Americans would not know who this person is, as if they never watched America's Got Talent or.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Pierce Morgan was on America's Got Talent. He also took over for Larry King on CNN when they fired Larry King, and then of course he was he did it miserably, and they fired him off CNN. So now he went back to his home country, and he hosts the British version of the Today Show. And it's been a rough couple days for that dude, because he has been trying to defend the Queen through all her racist bullshit, and he's the one person that is taking her side over Meghan and Harry, who are obviously telling the truth because they had nothing to gain in lying. So Pierce Morgan.
I mean, you keep saying they have absolutely nothing to gain. They have a livelihood to protect. They've got their Netflix deals. They've got other things that they by being publicly out. They went to where they are now because they're like, we want to leave the public eye. And now they're putting themselves back out into the public eye and branding themselves.
They wanted to leave the racist bullshit that they had to deal with. That's what
I mean. That's
if they have nothing to lose. They chose. They could have still been at the Royal Palace. So you're not making sense.
You're not making any. You're saying they have absolutely nothing to gain by lying. I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm not saying that they're lying. But to say that they have nothing to gain by lying is a lie in and of itself.
No.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Gina.
Did they have the Netflix deal before they did this interview, Tiefel?
They would have had the Netflix deal.
They had the Netflix deal, but they still had look at every single movie that ever comes out. They do a huge promotional tour before the movie comes out.
They're one of the most famous couples in the world. They don't need to get on Oprah and lie.
The actors have already been paid, but they do the huge promotional tour.
All right, Tiefel, wait. You can't talk.
Well, we found Tiefel hot button.
Tiefel, you can't just run through and talk. You got to let other people talk.
I was literally in the middle of a sentence when everybody else was trying to interrupt me, so yes, I can.
All right, so then stop. People aren't going to enjoy people talking over each other, okay? So
I just enjoyed that 2 minutes. I don't know about you guys.
I was literally in the middle of talking in the middle of a sentence when everybody tried to interrupt me. So why don't you lecture them about interrupting?
Whoa.
Because when there are 5 or 6 people, there are going to be times when people are going to talk at the same time. But that doesn't mean you steamroll through. You have to stop. Otherwise, we can't hear. If we're too.
I was in the middle of a point. I was in the middle of a sentence. They would have been.
Can I say something?
You don't stop. You take pauses and then you start talking back up. When you take a pause, other people are going to fill that time. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody listening right now is having flashbacks to 1988 Thanksgiving. So let's just all calm down. And honestly, it is.
I've been thinking we really need something that's like more personal and like us. So I feel like that was a really good 2 minutes of legit reality radio.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. Keep going.
There were people who were like this. They were like, man, I wish I could do that on my Zoom call.
I just want to be clear. I believe them. I 100% believe them. But to say that they have no motivation to lie is a lie in and of itself.
No.
It's so weird that you believe them and still argue against it.
I'm not arguing against it. I am not arguing against them. I'm arguing against the argument that they have nothing to gain by lying.
Okay, Tiefel, but
two different things.
Hold on. But you've already stated that. You don't have to restate that 6 times. We've been here for
because you keep saying that's what I'm saying when it's not.
No, it's not. That's not true. Okay,
man.
So
here's so fun.
Andrew, did you break up with him?
No,
is that what happened?
Here's the point. Wait, hold on. So the deal is what you've said about Meghan and Harry about they're trying to protect their deal. You could say the exact same thing about the royal family. They're trying to protect their nest egg, so they have every reason to hold on. Stop. You see?
I wasn't starting. I literally just said I get that, and you were continuing. I wasn't starting anything.
So their motivation is to discredit Meghan and Harry. If Meghan and Harry
had popcorn.
If Meghan and Harry didn't take down the royal family like that, they would still have a Netflix deal and they would still be fine. It's not motivated by money. It doesn't matter what they could have just lived and been fine. They weren't struggling. They didn't have to sell this interview to make a living. They would have been fine either way. So that's not to say that's a motivation. That's absolutely wrong. Okay, back to Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan has had a rough couple days because he's the one guy that's taking the side of Meghan and I'm sorry of the Queen, family. The royal family, and he's been called out a couple times. So here's one dude on Pierce's own show calling this mofo out.
And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this program. A number of times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behavior. I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have to sit there and listen. 6:30 to 7 o'clock yesterday was incredibly hard to watch. Incredibly hard to watch. This. You know, he has the ability to come in here and talk from a position where he doesn't fully understand.
Okay.
And
I think we need to. I think we need to just all take a break.
No. Guess who put in his 2 weeks just 5 minutes ago? Guess who did that? And then was like, you know what? Fuck you, Piers Morgan. I've been waiting to fucking say this all fucking day.
You can tell
you.
Have you ever okay, so he anyway, you couldn't see the video. Pierce jumped off the show. He walked off the show when he said I can't do this anymore, and he walked off the show, and this dude kept going into him. But have you ever had someone that you really had to get something off your chest and they're in the room with them, but you'll look, even though if they're sitting to the side of you, you'll look straight ahead and not you'll be dissing them but not even look at them? Because it's just a little bit easier. That's what this dude was doing. This dude was looking at the camera and would not even turn to Pierce as he's freaking just dissecting this dude like gutting him like a fish, and you wouldn't even look at him. Go ahead.
That is a baller ass move. Like it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to acknowledge you. I'm talking to the people that you're talking to, and I know there's a handful of them out there that are like, man, if I see you in the supermarket, I am going to choke the dog shit out of you.
Right.
One of the most annoying things that I do from Dub's perspective is like when he irritates me, does something that irritates me, I'll be like, I hate when people, and when I say people, I mean him, but I'm talking to him. And he's like, you mean me? Say me, you mean. He gets so irritated by that.
It makes because especially women are very non-confrontational, but it makes it a little easier to say it, even though you mean them. But
yes, Georgia, people in air quotes.
I know, I love it. So that's
because you know why? Because if you say you, that'll get you killed. Like every man has heard this story. He was like, and then he said you, and that was the last we saw of Tom. And so guys now go people. We go, well, we hate when people.
I do that though, and I do that.
Well, you're a dude. You're a dude.
I hear that a lot.
So here's Pierce on his own show again. This was actually before the other one where he stormed off. But listen to this lady call this dude out on his own show.
What about the behavior of Harry and Meghan, who are spray gunning his family on global television as Philip lies in hospital? You might laugh. I don't think it's funny. I think it's piling hurt on the Queen, who is already suffering greatly from her husband's
I'm going
illness.
to respond to that. What I don't think is funny, I'll tell you what I don't think is funny. It's the fact that you are such a disappointment. I wish to God one day you would even surprise me. You constantly use your platform as a wealthy, white, privileged man with powered influence to
what a
aggravate
load of
and
nonsense,
escalate
honestly.
the biggest
What a load of race-baiting nonsense.
and the misogynist
What's
attacks
a
on
load
Meghan
of
Markle.
race-baiting
And you do it so
nonsense?
shamelessly.
We have done more. We have done more on racial issues on this show than any other show on television. You're talking, Shola. You can keep shouting.
It's the black female Chris Tiefel.
Dude,
Sounds like our podcast. Yeah.
I swear to God, it is like there is nothing that drives a point home deeper than an African woman yelling at you like you may not have done anything wrong, but you will apologize.
Calling you a disappointment on your own show. You are such a disappointment.
Yes, and this woman knows disappointment. Like she knows. Like she woke up and she had a dirt floor. She knows disappointment.
What?
But she's been chased by lions and shit. That's disappointing.
But who's the woman that he was talking
racist,
to?
D.
What's that? Who's the woman?
I assume everybody in Africa has been chased by a lion at least once.
She's a hold on. Her name.
Why is she from Africa? Wait,
she's Dr.
Does she have an English accent?
It's an English African accent.
Yeah.
Actually, it was really interesting.
But what's her name?
Dr. Shola Moss Shagbamimimumana.
See, yep.
Oh, Shola.
Mhm.
I like that name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shola.
Yeah, that's
She told Pierre she's a disappointment and uses his platform as a wealthy white privileged man to spout his bullshit. She called his ass out.
That is, it has been a rough couple days for poor Piers.
I know.
But you know what? Here's the bitch of it. He doesn't believe any of that shit.
No,
he doesn't believe any of it. It's all for him to make money. It is him.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
He's the Chris Tiefel of British television. He just wants to argue to be an asshole, even though he doesn't believe his shit. Just like Chris doesn't believe his shit, he just wants to argue to
Only
be.
Tiefel's doing it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just shows you Tiefel believes. He's a fanatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, I believe what I said earlier.
If technicalities was a religion, he would be the leader of it.
Oh my God.
Well, anyways, it kind of just reminds me about the whole Trump bullshit where it's just like two sides who are never going to see each other's side and you just keep circle jerking around. Oh my God.
Here we go.
I don't think when you talk about racism, when somebody who is of color who has been in that position talks about racism, you can say, well, there's another side to this story.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how people just really hate the royal family or they're on the royal side. No one's gonna come to the middle and say, "Oh, okay, I see your point." It's just gonna be, you know what I mean?
They're very polarizing, just like Trump is. So when you bring it up, each side goes to their camp, and here we go, hunker down.
You know, and I think it's kind of shitty that before this interview hit, that they released this report that says that they're investigating Meghan Markle for being a bully in the palace, to the royal staff, that she's the first thing they do is they try to make her aggressive and say that, you know what? Well, she was like every other black person, the first thing they want to do is try to paint a picture of them being aggressive and fucking overbearing. And then so now all of a sudden, this is why.
The sad part is they even said that they're in emergency mode and they were in the royal war room yesterday after the interview aired. And the sad
at the round table, they blew off. So she pulled out Excalibur and
Lancelot.
Prince Philip, who if you look at him really closely, looks like the embodiment of fucking evil and racism.
The sad part is that their job was to discredit Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and their job was to go out and and even before the interview, just throw all kinds of bullshit on the wall. And the sad part is, you know who's probably in that war room is his fucking brother and his fucking piece of shit father.
Oh yeah.
We're all in there to say, hey, how can we take my son? How can we take my son down? Fuck you, Prince Charles, you piece of shit.
Kind of takes the shine off of Kate Middleton a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, go ahead, Donnie.
I never trusted any of those guys. They all looked like Bond villains anyway. So.
Right?
I have to go back to what Dee said though. Like this is a family that they're old and they're rich for nothing. Like there's zero reason to be rich at this point. They're so they're very entitled. They got away with killing Princess Di. They got away with they're getting away with pedophilia right now. Like Prince Andrew was totally tied to Epstein. There's no doubt about it. There's people coming out against him. They've dodged that bullet. And so now, of course, they think they can dodge this little black girl from America. Of course, they think they can dodge this bullet.
Real quick, Gina, and the woman that just spoke, the Dr. Shola or whatever, I cut that shorter. It's about 2.5 minutes long. I played about a minute of it, but there's a point where she says, "So the royal family throws Prince Harry under the bus, but they protect that pedophile Andrew, Prince Andrew."
I swear to God, I think everybody should start doing it like that.
I
like, you know what, pedophile, like pedophile cuts harder than pedophile. Pedophile sounds softer.
Yep.
Like I like pedophile. You're a pedophile. Just doesn't sit well in your mouth, does it? Pedophile.
No.
I mean, neither of them sit well in my mouth, but okay.
Yeah. What does sit well in your mouth, Gina?
Coffee.
Go ahead, Tiefel.
You know why I like Megan though? I think that I really love that, and I love that it all came out on International Women's Day, which the men in here will probably laugh at that, but I think that it was really important. And of course, they're going to call her a bully, and they're going to have all these horrible things to say about her because she's brave enough to say, "What the is going on, and why are you treating me like garbage?"
Yep.
And I think that would be the case. I don't know. I'm sure Kate probably went through something of it, not the same. I'm sure it was way worse for Megan, but she just didn't have the balls to come out and say this is wrong. Just kind of like William and Harry, because I'm sure William's gone through his fair share of shit that he hasn't talked about.
I was just gonna say that Ashley, you're onto something in the fact that nothing against Prince William's wife Kate Middleton, but she just didn't have the balls of Meghan Markle. She went through the same shit, but she not as bad because she's not black. But my point is, she couldn't stand up to him. Meghan's like, "Fuck this, dude. I'm not dealing."
But Kate grew up with the royal family, though.
But that's a good point. That's a good point.
Like she was being groomed for this position.
Yeah, that's true. But she went to Harry. She went to Harry. Meghan Markle went to Harry. Says, "Your fucking family is crazy, and I don't know what the fuck you're doing here, but I'm not doing this shit." You know, and then sometimes it takes someone from the outside to snap you out of what you've been around your whole life.
You know what?
And I think Harry already kind of felt that way because he was, when he was younger, he was off doing his own thing and not caring about his royal image.
Right. He was prone to being able to someone snapping him out of the trance. So he was already open to it, and then she just came and slapped the shit out of him.
He saw what the royal family did to his mother.
Yep.
Like that is first and foremost in the front of his mind when as far as his relationship with his wife is concerned, is how that family treated and effectively ended his mother's life. That and paparazzi. And when his wife went to somebody and said, "I need to talk to someone, I need help," and they said there was nothing they could do for her, because she was not a paid member of the royal family, and it wouldn't look good if she were to talk to a professional.
So basically, suck it up, stiff off her lip. You just have to deal with your mental. Get the fuck out.
And then when you hear that, and then you compare it to excerpts of what Princess Diana said when she was like, "There were 3 people in my marriage, and I had bulimia through the entire thing. And all I did was suffer in silence." You know, that's dude. The parallels are scary.
Yeah, there are a lot of parallels being made. It just, have you ever noticed that when you're around something for a long time or your whole life or whatever, and then someone from the outside comes in and they start pointing shit out, and then you start singing it. And I think that's what was going on. Now, I had a similar incident like that in my life where I started pointing out, dude, look how crazy these people are. What are you doing? And then they realized how crazy these people were, because we'd have conversations like, yeah, you're right. Whoever it is, I'm not going to say whoever it is crazy. But then at some point, the resentment came back at me. It was like, well, I didn't know they were crazy until you told me, and I was living a fine life, and they ended up reverting back to going back to the crazy people. And turning on me because their life was fine before they knew. Like, hey, I was fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it the proper way. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm saying.
Ignorance is bliss.
A lot. Yeah, yeah. That's probably part of where it comes from.
I feel like I've had conflict in my life like that before. It's like you're like, hey, these people are a little bit weird, and the same things happened to me before, Andrew. Like, you probably don't want to be like associated with them, but then it always comes back to like you're the weird person, and then you think, like, am I the one that's like off my freaking hinges? I don't know what this looks so obvious, but yeah, it sucks.
You're right. Well, and here's the another example of it. Fuck, I missed it. Oh well.
What I'm finding funny about this whole thing is we live in a country that was founded by throwing off the yoke of the royal family. And trying to break it up, and get our freedom. And then you have conservatives like Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro tweeting out defenses of the royal family on this whole thing. And I'm just like, that's not the side you're supposed to be on. That's not.
It's just, I don't know. Real quick, and there was a good version. There was a good example that I really wanted to give, but I kind of what Ashley was.
Is it a 50 Cent verse? I find 50 Cent drops some huge knowledge on things like this.
It's usually Lil Weezy for me, but I don't
know.
Really? But okay, I don't think I'm going to catch it. But okay, so I want to go back to International Women's Day. Yesterday was International Women's Day, since you brought it up, Ashley. Which is a day to celebrate women, which I think is a great idea. It's cool. I love it. The only thing it snuck up on, there have been things lately that just sneak up on you. It's like let's say all of a sudden people just started saying Merry Christmas on Christmas. Like, where'd that come from? My whole life I've never heard of it. Like, no one. Yesterday everyone was saying International Women's Day, International Women's Day, International Women's Day. And I'm like, where the fuck did this pop up from? I mean, is this the first annual? Have I missed it for 30 years? I don't even understand.
You've been missing it.
Am I really?
It popped up. Yeah, it popped up for like the last 3 years or so on my Facebook memories. So it's not entirely brand new, but I feel like 3 years ago I was like, oh, I never even heard of this before.
Right. But yesterday everyone was saying Happy International Women's Day and Happy International Women's. Like, that has never happened in the past years. Where did this come from? Where did this magic holiday pop up from?
I blame Walmart, because if you don't set out a display 3 months ahead of time, I don't know what's fucking coming. So if I don't go to Walmart in the middle of winter and see spring clothes hanging up in your section, I don't know spring is coming. I gotta be like, oh shit. Then I wake up and I go, I gotta buy shorts because it's spring.
If I don't see vagina hats in the seasonal section 3 months ago, there's no way for me to know it's international.
Like, you know what? Yeti should have put out some shit to really drive home, you know, International Women's Day. You can put stuff in it. It keeps it hot, keeps it cold. It's,
where's my damn gift?
Never leaks.
Donnie.
How do you celebrate International Women's Day? Like, is there an International Women's Day tree?
People, you can't because you don't have a woman, so you just can't.
Ashley didn't get a gift. I'm sorry. Ashley didn't get a gift because she's never been out of the country, so she'll get a gift on National Women's Day.
I'm not an international woman.
Yes, and there's no tree; it's a bush.
Women's bush.
I don't get it.
Wow, the logo for National Women's Day.
Ashley's funnier than the joke.
Thank you, Gina. That's usually the case. No, I'm just kidding, babe.
Oh,
what wasn't my joke?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Which show are you watching?
Sorry.
It's the earpiece. She can't get it in her ear. She doesn't know who's
I
saying
know,
what.
you guys, seriously. What is this janky big loud
Man.
shit I have in my ear right now?
Well, it's dark in here, honey, and you scooted down the bed.
You know, Ashley had suppressed her diva, and then Donnie's put her on the show, and he like does he's her engineer, and so now she's like, Donnie, this is earpiece. Are you serious right now? This janky.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Doing right now?
We'll do it live.
Just to be fair,
Yeah,
we
we'll do
are
it live.
both admittedly divas to each other. Okay, this is the perk of being married: is that you get to treat each other like shit on occasion. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you have to
no one's gonna
agree.
go anywhere.
You both have to agree that that's the day that you're going to do it. You just can't.
You know what? This is one of the things that bothers me so much is that everybody thinks Donnie is like,
The sweetest.
which he is. He's a great man and he's a great husband, but everybody thinks he's so perfect and never does anything wrong. And so everyone's like, I feel like thinks that I'm just like a giant biatch.
Mm-hmm.
Which
You
I
know
can
what,
be a bitch.
Ashley, I do feel like sometimes, I do feel like sometimes when we talk about Donnie, Sarah McLachlan should be playing in the background.
It's just one of those things that if I could just have a video camera on us all the time and he didn't know about it, then people would see that he's a little.
Are you here to take me down, babe?
He's needy.
I know. That's a
God. I'm just
Are we
saying.
canceling Donnie?
I get canceled. I'm getting canceled.
It's a royal.
No, it's just how. Oh my God! It's just
Wait.
how people, when you're married, that's how it is. Like you
All
are.
right, people, we need.
I want to take
It's
exception
true.
with your idea though earlier that it's marital privilege to treat each other like shit because women have been doing that to
On
me for
occasion.
years and none of them have married me.
I said on occasion. You have to be married first. You don't do this
Yeah.
stuff until you're well deep into the relationship, and you know.
Yeah.
like-
Until
Ashley,
you
do
have
you
way
ever,
too much shit to like separate.
Ashley, if you're
Ashley, do you ever like about like halfway through your day, do you ever just stop and go, man, I am being a bitch today? Like you're so bitchy.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because I do that
Yeah.
sometimes. I'm like, man,
But when you
Doug's
have
a
that
champ, though.
realization, do you stop?
Yeah,
No.
I really try, or I'll tell him. No,
Yeah,
I do
I
really
just say
try.
it. I just say, wow, I'm being a bitch today and you're being a champ.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be like,
know what,
I
though?
need to go be away from people for a minute. Like I have to
Yeah.
go collect.
there
myself,
there are times where Colleen will be on one and it'll be like I'll be like, Colleen, you just bitched at me for 7 different things in like 10 minutes. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk outside.
No, but
Yeah.
you
know
can't
what?
tell her she's being a bitch. It's got to be a
No,
self-realization
yeah.
thing. Because if you tell her that she's being a bitch while she's being a bitch, now it's your fault.
But if
And
you
you know
do
what?
But if you do it calmly
would-
and you point out the 7 things,
Now it's
No, that should drive them deeper into it. You have to. They have to have this self-realization, and women are the only ones that are allowed to do this. Like if a guy was like, "Man, I'm sorry, I am just really stabby today." Like you would not be cool with that. You wouldn't go, "Yeah, well, maybe you should go outside and stop stabbing people."
I would.
Well, man,
I
I'm
would.
just-
We do that all the time.
I
you
just
know,
wake
Demetrius,
up
I have to
feeling real
figure-
stabby.
I have to figure if you're feeling really stabby, taking that moment to not be around other people, probably a good idea.
Yeah, but most people
I've
don't
also
give
never
that
used
kind
the
of
word
time.
stabby before. I've never
I use that
said
word
I
a
feel
lot.
like stabbing people. So.
What are you're more grammatically correct with your stabby? Is that what you're saying?
No, I
Ashley?
just
I'm
no. I mean, I've just never said that. I don't actually feel like hurting other people. I feel like falling into a hole by myself because I shouldn't be around others.
okay. So
Just because I'm being mean, you know, and I don't want to be mean.
we're gonna let's do this. Ashley, make sure you stay up on that mic, Ash, and then turn it
sorry.
away. Turn it away. Yes, turn it away from Donnie. Like almost just turn. You don't have to just turn it and push in, but turn. Just
Now she's off frame.
I know.
no. There's a force field that pushes me back if I move this. As you can see, as I move my microphone, I'm
Is this
forced
good enough?
yes.
to move.
At
face
least
is
we have a good
attached.
half in frame.
Okay, so I'm gonna yeah, you do want to move in a little bit. I was thinking just turn it like away, push it, and then move your. I don't know. Anyway,
You want you to tilt the microphone away from Donnie, but stay where you are.
Yes, if that's possible.
I can't do that.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so so I want to talk about this proper conversation etiquette. There are too many.
I feel attacked.
There are too many people that don't
Triggered. Triggering. Is this gonna trigger you, Chris?
He just interrupted you. You're not saying nothing.
There are too many people that don't know proper conversation etiquette, and I didn't realize that this was a thing, but I do realize it now, and I have to point it out for people. So the way too many people have conversations is, I'm going to say, hey, I went to the Walmart yesterday, and this crazy woman was there, and then and this happened, okay? And then you say, "Oh, I went to Walmart the other day too, and this crazy woman," and then everything you say, then the other person, if it triggers, and I get it, if it's a conversation back and forth, if it triggers something for you, but what's missed is you listening to this story, reacting and hampering a conversation and validating what the first person said before you go into your story. People are skipping that middle part. So you're not feeling
Guilty.
You're not feeling heard in your conversation. So there's not really anything you're doing wrong. You just need to realize that they've said that because they value your opinion or value your input or just value you listening. And when you just hear their story and then go into your story without some sort of validation in the middle, then you're screwing up the conversation. And for me, Colleen's very guilty of that. And for me, if you go into a story, I immediately will shut down. Like I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell you any more stories on this subject because I know my words are important. I've been paid to say my words, so I know they are important. So if you're going to really not listen to my words and move on to what you have to say,
all right, we're gonna have to stop.
And how often has that argument worked on Colleen? How often do you look Colleen in the eye and say, "I am a professional word person. People pay me for my words. Listen."
I will.
I've used it before.
In my head, I say I'm gonna stop conversing, and I'm gonna save it for the hour that I have in the morning where people will actually listen to what I'm saying. So it's stifling conversation. And I know my words are important because I've been paid to use my words before. So I know how to speak.
But now the only words of yours that are important are the words you're getting paid to say when you're on the air.
In Andrew's defense, I've used that before, but not with words for gossip. When I catch myself gossiping at work, I'll be like, I know it's not good, but I've actually been paid to gossip before, so I think I get a free pass.
Stop it! It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
Demetrius, what are you doing right now?
He's got me going too, and I can't stop. Stop it, D.
That is the worst take, Andrew.
Bro,
That is the
can I just
take.
honestly? You the wheels fell off your argument as soon as you said my words are important. I get paid for my words. Well, look, bitch. I don't need you to have a buy one get one sale with me. You can just shut up and listen. I ain't buying your words. I didn't ask for the sample pack. All I asked you for is to listen to this story. Now, if you think your words are important, then God bless that they are. Maybe you should start an Etsy site and make your words available to the people of that Etsy.
Here, Andrew, I got a perfect example for you. Think back to the clip you played earlier with Piers Morgan and that lady. And imagine if Piers Morgan had come back to her as, "I know my words are important. I get paid to say my words." Would you have thought that to be a valid argument?
No.
Exactly. Shut up.
That shit was the best line I have ever. I know my words are important. I get paid to say words.
I've had a very similar situation with my family because I know my family will, Colleen or the kids. I'll say something funny and they'll just look at me crazy, and I will say in my heart, I say, I know it's funny. I've been paid to be funny.
I've literally said that to my kids.
Yeah, so don't tell me. So don't tell me you not laughing doesn't affect me because I know funny. I've been paid to be funny. I know funny. So
and then they go like this. Why don't you leave that at work then?
I mean, I've been paid to be funny to do. I still bombed.
I want to say something real quick about the. Go ahead, Ashley.
It's a version of the same. It's a version of the same.
You guys are getting paid.
I
think I'm pretty funny.
Not this time. Well, you're getting paid by being on, though. Yeah, but I'm saying that's really our pay. That we're important enough to actually be on. I don't know. Go ahead, Gina.
Okay, yeah, no, but I want to say about the conversation thing and the flow of the conversation. So a lot of times, though, somebody that has some social anxiety, they get excited when they hear you tell a story, and that's their way of relating by telling their story back to you. So don't be too hard on people if they do that, because sometimes it's just a matter of
assume that everybody has social anxiety.
Yeah, a lot do now, man. Everyone I talk
to, honestly, is that the first thing that we jump to? Can we just not jump to this dude's an asshole?
Well,
and then once I get a backstory, then I can make the determination and maybe apologize for my initial thought.
That's kind of how I try to live. Yeah. Like you just assume the best, and if it's the worst, then it's the worst.
I like how the best is that he's an asshole, not that he has social anxiety.
Well, but here's the thing. And when I posted this, I said, I think a lot of people don't. I think this conversation is a lost art with the text messaging and all that now. So I really wasn't saying it to be. I mean, okay, I don't want my end piece being taking some creative license in the end of me talking about my words are important. I don't want that to be lost on the actual what I was saying, because conversation really is a bit of a lost art, and people really that's something you're not taught. So like you said, Gina, you think you're relating, but you really need to hear the other person's words and absorb them first before you go on to yours, and that is a big piece that's missing in conversation. And it makes me, and I think it makes other people too, feel like, okay, you're not hearing what I'm saying, because then you're just going right into your things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you can say things like, I hear you, or yeah, oh my gosh, that reminds me. Even those little bit of segue sentences, acknowledge what the person says and then move on. And I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a whole conversation about what you just said. You can do those things. But yeah, you're right. I feel like the same thing that chunk is missing.
Yeah.
Now if are we talking about people who are just literally sitting down and talking, or are we talking about somebody who's standing in front of a grocery store and then somebody that runs up on you and shares a story?
Well, I used to be really bad at that.
Well, no, because those are two totally different. Like if I'm engaged in a conversation with you, I'm going to give you my time. I'm going to listen to you. But if somebody runs up on me at a grocery store or in a parking lot and goes, oh my God, let me tell you about this, then I don't know if I owe you that kind of same commitment of attention in the middle of a parking lot that I would give you if we were sitting at, say, Cinco de Mayo. Where people just run up on me?
Run up to you in the parking lot to tell you a story?
There have been, how many times have you seen somebody that you know at a store and you're like, oh, and then they're like, they want to talk. Bitch, I'm out here running errands too. For fuck's sake. I don't need the whole backstory. We can catch up later.
Am I the only one that avoids people I know in public? If I'm out in the grocery store or anywhere else where I'm just
I don't know, but you shouldn't, because you need companionship. So you
need witnesses. People. You need to set up your timeline when people pull you in when shit goes missing, and you're like, look, I engaged 4 people at Walmart who will tell you I was there between 10 and 11:30.
Yeah, you should always talk to somebody wherever you're somewhere just to set up the alibi.
Yeah, you should keep pockets full of receipts.
You should live your life. You should live your life knowing that at some point you need that alibi.
Yeah. You're gonna people will be like, man, is this stuff for writing off taxes? You're like, nope, it's for the FBI eventually.
Which I imagine I could write off.
Oh man. Times. All right. A couple things before we get to the WTF news. Mackenzie Scott. I don't know if you guys know who Mackenzie Scott is, but
Nope, but I bet you're gonna tell us.
She is
the lesser known cousin of Gabriel Scott, who is
Travis
lesser
Scott.
known. Yes.
She is the ex-wife of Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos.
See, I'm not sure I was supposed to know that.
And she is the third wealthiest woman in the world. For those who don't know, Jeff Bezos had an affair with a TV reporter in Los Angeles. Now, him and the reporter lady are still together, but they were together for 25 years. They just divorced in 2019, Scott and Mackenzie. I'm sorry, Jeff and Mackenzie just got divorced in 2019. She just got remarried again. And actually, she looks 10 times better now. I don't know what Bezos was doing to her, but she looks a lot better now. Here's my point. She got married to a science. She's the third wealthiest woman in the world, and she got married to a science teacher. He's just a regular dude.
Oh, yeah.
You hear his statement? He's like, I'm really looking forward to giving away all this money because, like, basically she's a philanthropist and she just supports, donates money to stuff. He's like, yeah, I really look forward to having fun, searching out causes and just giving people money.
Well,
like
that's her thing.
I'm paraphrasing.
That's her thing, though, is that she wants to give away all her money.
Yeah.
No. She wants to give away all of his money, which is going to really piss him off.
I volunteer.
That is the only thing she's doing. He had to give her. He had to give her half. That dude looks nothing like Jeff Bezos.
I'm just talking about the bald head. That's the only thing I could think of. That's boom, bald head.
Like honestly. And then she went like this. She looked at him across the divorce table and she went like this. I'm gonna give all of this shit away. I'm giving it. I'm gonna give it to people that you hate. People who don't read, who don't order shit online. I'm giving it. I'm giving it to people who
hold on. I'm gonna pay them to not have the internet so they can't order shit.
Yep. I'm buying.
The big thing is to put internet everywhere. She goes behind him and says, "What are they paying you to put internet in here? $1 million? I'm going to pay you $2 million to not fucking put internet in here because fuck him."
Here's $2 million for no internet, and I'm going to give you a guy to just run and deliver your messages. You whisper in his ear, he will run wherever the fuck you need him to go. You can run to the grocery store. It'll be like Amazon. It's Runazon. That's what we'll call it. We'll just put little athletes in your house to run errands for you and deliver your messages.
Dude,
Andrew,
she's going to donate it to the rival of his favorite sports team.
Go ahead, Donnie. What, Donnie?
I said she's going to donate it to the rival of his favorite sports team.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hurtful.
Exactly.
Andrew, you're being awfully F-bomby today.
I know. It started. Chris started me off. Like I was fine until Chris triggered me.
Everything comes back to my fault. Mister, I get paid for my words.
We are training you for marriage, Tiefel. We are training you for marriage.
Yeah, I did notice, Gina.
I haven't dropped an F-bomb once.
But I just think that the subjects that we've been talking about, it's just warranted. But I know I have been. I've noticed it. I'm catching myself being very F-bomby. But back to the Bezos thing.
Some time. Do you think of like you're if Colleen was like, man, I'm real fucky right now. I'm gonna need to take some time. Like she could walk out of the room and you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, she was real fucky. Everybody else is like, damn, Andrew, you are using the F-bomb a lot. Maybe you should take some time and compose yourself. No, fuck you.
but with Bezos, everything that he loves, she should go back behind and pay to do opposite.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, like,
I'm sure there's some kind of clause in their divorce.
The first book
about that.
The first book he sold
especially
on
if
the
it involves
internet.
money.
Like she buys the first book he sold on the internet and then takes a piss in it.
Mm-hmm. She supports Walmart delivery.
Yeah.
Yes. Like she goes and she specifically buys grocery shops herself. Like she's like, nope, I'll get this CD at Target.
That's one of the things that like really bothers me though is like everybody shits on Bezos, but it's like we all order from Amazon all the time. So it's like, how can we?
You bring up a great point.
It's like talking out of both sides of your mouth, and it really.
You don't have to.
You bring up a great point, Ashley. Go ahead, D.
you don't have, you can talk shit about somebody and still like a service that they provide. I mean,
I don't like it.
mean, his service is not necessarily an indication of who he is as a person.
But his service is destroying Main Street. Like anything that he touches.
And we all support it.
Long
it's
before
not
he
his
came
service.
around.
Well, hold on. Here's another problem is, okay, and I've told this story before, but Walmart, the reason they have such shitty service is because they decided a long time ago customer service was never going to be their thing, because they know that if they have the cheapest prices, you're going to come back tomorrow. They don't give two fucks about you. They don't care if you like their service. They know you're going to continue to use the store because their prices are cheaper. So they put the money into keeping the prices low and not into customer service, because you're going to keep going back. And I swear, I was at Walmart yesterday and people swear, God, I fucking hate Walmart. And you're there all the time buying stuff. And they know that. That's why they don't care about customer service. They don't care if they treat you like shit. It's like an abusive a relationship. You're going to keep coming back no matter how bad they treat you. And that's
Walmart people are really nice to me, and they always say hi. And
what Walmart are you going to? Glendale?
No.
No. Which one am I going to? Go ahead, Gina. What were you going to say?
It's really just a side note that made me think of Main Street. We were in Sylvania the other day because I had to drop my computer off. That's why I'm always on my phone, because my computer is in the shop. And there is the cutest little boutique in Sylvania called Hip to Groove. And I went in there just because we were like, the kids wanted to run up and down Main Street or whatever, because we don't have that on the south side. At least not one that they're allowed to run up and down. So they were running up and down and they went in this boutique. It's so cute. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Ashley, you should go. You'll love it. They have the cutest clothes and the cutest stuff there.
Do you know this is like, and their whole Walmart's idea of like, having the cheapest prices is like, as far as consumerism goes, it was great, but that is why their brothel in Vegas failed. Is they were like, look, we're not doing customer service. We're just going to do the lowest prices in vagina that we can do.
Our girls have an attitude, and
they all have an attitude.
Brothel sounds like the worst idea in history.
Could you imagine that self-checkout?
That's why it failed.
See, but to be clear though, Walmart didn't destroy Main Street. Amazon didn't destroy Main Street. We did by choosing convenience over going to support local.
You are 100% right. And here's Natasha brings up a great point. Every time she goes to Walmart, and I've heard people saying this yesterday. Every time they go to Walmart, they say they hate Walmart, and it's so true. But we can shop there because they can shop there.
We can blame Walmart and Amazon all we want, but the culprits are ourselves, and we just don't want to blame ourselves.
I agree. Here's my point. My point was that I bitched about us going to chain restaurants like Olive Garden. Dude, the parking lot is packed every single night. Doesn't matter what night of the week it is. Olive Garden is one of those things where we continue to use these national chain restaurants where all the money goes out of the area instead of supporting local restaurants. And I don't put my money where my mouth is when I shop at fucking Walmart because I should be doing the same thing and supporting local. Now we should have made a decision as a country. We're going to pay a little more, but hey, if the jobs are here and the shop is local and employing local people, then that's where we should shop. But unfortunately, we as a country made a decision that it's all about price, and we have fucked ourselves in the end because we've hurt all these other businesses because we've chosen.
Walmart hires local people too.
But that's not a good argument, because my point is the money goes back to corporate. That all goes out of the area. Of course, if those workers weren't working there, they would work at other local places. So using that, hey, will they hire local workers, is not a good excuse, because other places would hire those same workers if Walmart was not an option, because there'd be more local places open. But
I only said that because you said that about the local grocery stores hire local people, and you could say that about the chains too.
Yeah, I don't really actually understand this argument, because I mean, if there weren't for Walmart, so we would have tiny mom and pop stores, which would not employ as many people as there are employed at Walmart. So
but there
I feel like there's a good medium somewhere here. But it's not to say no more Olive Garden, no more Walmart, only mom and pop businesses. We're so far beyond. We're overpopulated in our country for that. I don't think that's a possible.
And it gets more complicated. And it gets more complicated, Andrew, because like Olive Garden, other national brands are franchised. So you might be going to a national
Olive
brand.
Olive Garden is not a franchise.
I just looked it up. They offer franchise opportunities.
Okay, but that's what I'm
saying. A lot of national brands are franchised. McDonald's, they're small local businesses with a national brand.
But it doesn't matter, Chris. The money is still.
How does that not matter?
Well, if you stop talking and let me finish, the profit still goes to corporate, which is out of the area.
No, it goes to the owners. They're paying a franchise. They pay a franchise fee.
Exactly.
And the owners owners are still getting the profit of that store.
First of all, they're not. There's a majority of company stores. Number one, so that's not true. And number two, that franchise fee is leaving the area. So my point is, you would have 100%.
A certain percentage of all your money leaves the area.
No, that's not true. If you support
I'm at Thanksgiving 1990 now.
If you support, that's what I'm saying is a certain amount of your money leaves the area. Every time you buy Walmart, every time you buy Amazon, you're sending money out of the area. Exactly. But yet you're going to criticize a small business owner that franchises a national brand for sending a franchise fee to that national brand because they sent money out of the area, just like you do every goddamn day.
It's a good discussion.
It's not really. It really doesn't make any sense. Here's my point.
It does. Both of you are. The thing is both of you are right.
But listen to me. Hold on. Let's say there's 200,000. Let's just take a fake number. Let's say there's 100,000 people that go out to eat on a Friday. Okay, 100,000 people. Okay, they're gonna go out to eat either way. So if there's no Olive Garden and there's no Texas Roadhouse, well, those still same 100,000 people are still going to go out to eat. So they're going to go to local restaurants where 100% of the money stays local, not a percentage of the money.
And then those local restaurants are going to get supplied by national chains like Cintas and things like that, sending your money out of the area again for you to bitch about.
It's not true.
Yeah, where do they get their products from?
There's Alpeak & Son, which is local. There's Sofo, which is local. There's plenty of local.
Sofo is a national brand.
Tiffin, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Tiffin Paper Company. I get my food from TPC, Tiffin Paper Company, a local company out of Tiffin and Findlay area that's 100% local, and that's where
who doesn't have the capacity to supply all the local things.
You don't have to choose Cisco. You don't have to choose the national places. You can find local. That's what I'm saying. When possible, you should always find local, but it's sometimes a little more expensive. But we've chosen.
I think you know what? Right. Can we be like on? I know like we have been having this back and forth, but when you say a little more expensive, it is not. It is. I feel like that's a little disingenuous.
Yeah,
because it's a lot more expensive.
You're right.
And that is that is where we have that problem, is that it's I love local, but dude, you know what? I love saving money.
Right. Like for instance,
how do we meet in between?
No, great point. And like you can a t-shirt that's $10 at Walmart, you're going to go to a boutique and send me $35. That is a lot more expensive. I see what you bring up a great point, but in the end, we have to realize that it hurts the whole community if we're buying $10 shirts at Walmart and not buying $35 shirts at the.
But I got a $10 t-shirt job that I got a Walmart $10 t-shirt job. That's what I have. I don't have a $35 local boutique job.
Right.
I have 5 kids here. I can't shop at local boutiques for all 5 kids.
And there's sometimes I got a flea market job, right? So like as much as I would love to throw and I find people who find themselves in this exact same situation is as much as I would love to, I don't have support local business money until I get paid support local business money. I got Walmart money. I got Olive Garden money.
But comes first? The chicken or the egg? Like, do you start supporting local and then hopefully then the money comes around? Because now all of a sudden you're supporting the people that are making the stuff locally. So now
I've always found that people who make money tend to keep that money, and they very rarely share it with the people who've helped them make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trickle down. I prove that.
I try to spend my money at both places. Like I try to, like we actually the other day we were going to go to Olive Garden, but the wait was stupid, so we ended up at Swig, which was a much better choice anyway. For food because Swig's amazing.
Swig is a great restaurant.
Yeah.
Man,
well, that's what I was gonna say.
There's
so much. There's such a large. Like I feel like this argument of shop local and that would be way easier of a to fulfill if we had less people. But we have such a large. I mean, just in Toledo itself, if the wait is already 2 hours on a Friday night at Texas Roadhouse or Olive Garden or wherever, how can you take away chain restaurants and then just
because you go
to local?
Because you go to Sebastiano's.
I don't think they could support it.
They could though, because if you go to Sebastiano's, you would walk right in and get a table because everyone's at fucking Olive Garden. So
you wouldn't if Olive Garden wasn't here. Then you wouldn't incorporate it.
But there would be more restaurants. There would be more local. Obviously, supply and demand. If now Sebastiano's ends up on an hour and a half wait, well, then the other guy says, "Well, we need another Italian restaurant around here, so I'm going to open that place."
You know, who do I talk to about Inky's not opening till 4:30? Because that's bullshit. Like, I want to go to Inky's, but I'm never that doesn't time wise. It doesn't work out. Like, I want Inky's for lunch. We need to discuss this with the owners.
Lunch is a tough animal in this town. I will tell you from
plus they just made it harder by not having the free time during lunch for the meters downtown.
Yeah. All right, Chris. You want to do some WTF?
And roundabouts. I'm gonna bitch about everything. Fucking construction, roundabouts, technicalities. Rah, rah.
I like roundabouts. I don't know what your guys' problems with them.
Of course he does.
Yeah, you just gotta look to the left.
Yes, because you know what? A roundabout is exactly it's the embodiment of Chris.
Chris Tiefel, yes.
Because you can argue with it and just go in circles.
I love it.
You know, one of these days you guys are going to turn on. I'm not going to be here. You're going to be disappointed.
That's not true. You live to pick this shit apart. You are like a god.
All right, so going in.
The week of the 15th, we're going to tune in, and he's not going to be here, and it's going to be sad.
I'm on vacation.
All right, go ahead.
So, all right. So, just in time for International Women's Day, Chipotle decided to partner with a cosmetic manufacturer, and they're offering things like 12-color eyeshadow palettes inspired by their ingredients, such as rice, guacamole, and salsa. It's $16. $16, and it comes with a free chips and salsa coupon for Chipotle. They've also got they've partnered with Elf Cosmetics.
Oh, okay.
They also have their Make It Hot lip gloss for $8 or $10 extra guac face sponge set. They also have an $18 makeup bag resembling their brown paper bag.
Cute.
So
it's also called brown paper bag.
Yeah.
This
So
is
if
the
you've ever
second makeup and food inspired makeup palette that I've seen. What's the Mexican hot sauce? What's it called? Is it
El Spiso?
No, it starts with a T. Andrew, what is it?
El Tapico.
Yes, that they also have a palette and a little sponge thingy that's weird. Is this a new thing? This is a new trend or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never known anyone to go to Chipotle and go, you know what? I want to look like a burrito.
Well,
I already look like a burrito, so
I kind of want to look like a burrito from Chipotle. Now that you mention it.
You already look delicious, Ashley.
Yeah.
So then here we go. You know, a lot of people, that are adopted, they spend their lives fantasizing about their parents and their birth parents and, why they had to give them up and who they truly are and what they do. They could be a famous scientist. They could be the president, could be all these great things. But Kathy Gilchrist at 63 decided to finally search out her birth parents. She did an online DNA test and checked the box that she was adopted. And she ended up meeting up with a cousin. And then they started putting other pieces together to the point where she found out her father was on the FBI's most wanted list. from 1970 for murder. So that didn't really end up well for her. On that, he's either dead or still on the lam, but he's on that list. Her father ended up being William Bradford Bishop, if you want to look him up. On that, he's
never good when he's got a middle name.
He's wanted for bludgeoning a 68-year-old to death. His 68-year-old mother to death.
Was that Donny or Demetrius that said something?
What?
About the 3 names?
Yeah, it's always every time you hear the middle name, it's never a good thing. And and then he went and found his birth mom, and his mom was like, he should be on the FBI's wanted list again for beating it up.
So, all right. So,
what?
Oh, look at that! How cool Georgia did this. She made it like he's doing the news. Like,
look at that! Look at that! Oh, it's this way. Wait, what?
There
we go.
And the cold front.
That is cool.
Yeah. All right. So, and Andrew can attest to this. When you get arrested, they put you through an embarrassing ordeal where they strip you down, they search you, make you squat, cough. Just
What's
a normal
the cough
procedure.
for? Can I
Just
ask?
calling them out.
Try
in case you got something in your butthole. Crevices, it'll fall out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Control while you cough.
What?
What?
Hold on. Only the only reason why the women knew the answer to that question is because we are at an age now, and we've had so many kids that we know stuff doesn't stay in there when you laugh or cough.
Wait, in your butthole?
So that's the only reason why we knew.
So wait a minute, in your butthole.
All the
holes,
no, but
like you can't keep anything in your butthole, like when you cough.
No,
when you squat and cough, it causes you're
pushing out.
Yeah.
Well,
wait a minute. No.
Go ahead, Donny.
What was it say? Once you put something up there, it's natural for it to be pushed back out.
Yeah,
That's the whole. That's how that whole area works.
Yeah.
Well,
it's called
totally designed that way.
Well, I mean, what happened? Like, how come more people don't shit their pants when they
D's
get
like,
a cold?
No, D's like, well,
I
why
mean, if
hasn't
you
that one
squat
thing
and
come
cough,
out that I put up there a while ago?
If
That was
you
a
have
really
a
good
poop-
Demetrius impersonation, by the way. You guys just missed
That-
it.
And Ashley.
Do it
If you
again.
have to poop and you squat, and you cough, D, you're gonna poop your pants.
No, I don't think I am. I have enough faith.
I feel like
in
D's
my
gonna try this.
Let me help Gina.
to pretty much. I'm gonna pretty much guarantee this. What gets put up there doesn't come back out unless I want it to.
Go ahead, Donny.
It depends on how
I was
for the prison pocket.
Your name's not Donny.
I was gonna back up Gina and say, if you're trying to hold one, the squatting is the last position you're gonna be in. You're gonna be standing straight up and pinching them tight is all I'm trying to say.
I don't know. I would like to assume that my mental fortitude is enough to keep my butthole shut.
Can I do my impersonation?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Tiefel. But D was like, well, then why hasn't whatever I put up there last week come out yet?
In Dee's defense, this is the guy who passed out on the toilet, hit his head, and was found by his wife and did not poop himself.
First of all, I want to say, yes, I do want to say that my body has gone through enough emergency training to understand that everything gets shut down, all orifices closed, everything.
So, anyway, so the reason why.
Hold on.
Cool. I wanted to say something. God, now I don't remember.
Yes, he gets paid for his words.
Anybody got a quarter?
My words are important.
Venmo at ass.com.
I would have started throwing change at his face if he said that to me.
I know.
Yeah, so the reason I bring it up is
Colleen.
because
you maybe get paid for your words, but these knuckles are free.
the reason I bring it up is because prison guards in Missouri were surprised to find a 4-inch fully loaded revolver in Natasha White's cell that she had smuggled in, and they won't say which. All they will say is that it was smuggled in an orifice and not found during the strip search.
Well, it wasn't.
Wow,
a
that
butthole.
is
think
a
it was her
brave
ass.
bitch.
I don't think it was a butthole. I'm
It's
almost
either Chris'
positive.
pocket or nature's pocket. One of the two is what she used to smuggle that in.
I
So-
mean, how scary is that though? You stuck a gun in your vagina or
Right?
wherever.
Now, how bad do you think her husband feels? Because he knows he ain't a gun. Like, she's like, "Oh, you're killing it." He's like, "Bitch, you put a Colt 45 in your vagina and smuggled it into the jail. Like, that ain't like I could punch that over and over again. Holyfield could come in and put a glove on and beat the shit out of that, and nothing would happen."
They did not discover the weapon until 17 days into her incarceration.
Whoa. First of all,
Georgia's always got the funniest, most random facts.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you for putting that right under Chris.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Screenshot that.
Yeah.
So-
He's like, did you know a butthole can stretch 7 inches?
Chris, open your mouth.
Open your mouth, Chris. Put that under there, Georgia, and then open your mouth, Chris.
Open your mouth. Come on, open it. Screenshot.
Georgia's getting a noogie later from her big brother.
I think
All
Georgia
right.
could take him.
Real quick, can I say something though? A side note on prison life, which I can be an expert on. My first time in prison. So when I went to the local Perrysburg jail, not scary. And then from there, you transfer to Wood County Jail. Not scary. But as you get further into the chain, the people get more scary. Like from Wood County, you go to the place where they process all the prisoners in the state. So like that's where you get classified, like level 1, level 2, level 3, like depending on how heinous your crime was.
CCNO.
So at the processing place, what's it called?
CCNO.
Yeah, I think that's it. I can't remember. I've blocked a lot of it out. But where you go for processing, everyone is together. That's the scariest place. Like, you're like, oh, shit. Like, you will start walking and you're like, they're like waiting for a wish a motherfucker would.
Like, isn't that some bullshit, too? Like, doesn't that sound crazy? Like, shouldn't you keep 1s with 1s and 2s with 2s? Don't put us all in here like lottery balls. This shit ain't cool.
No, and at that point they haven't been classified. That's where you get classified. So I'm sitting with like hardened criminal. Like the processing place was the scariest place, because then when you get your my one classification, then I went to the place where there's pool tables and tracks and fun. But that 2 months, a month and a half that I was at this fucking place where they were processing and it's so backed up. I was there a month and a half waiting to get processed with the level 4s, and I'm like, oh Jesus, what is going on?
You figure that would happen at the conviction. Like, you're convicted of a crime of like petty theft. Oh, that's a 1. You're convicted of murder. Well, that's a 4. Like, why do you need a central location?
Right? Why don't
them out?
They need to change that.
This isn't Harry Potter. You don't need a sorting hat.
No,
you figured it out at trial.
Right.
I think it's hilarious that like they put you in there with like you're a 1, and then like you go through processing, you're talking to a guy and you're like, holy shit, you're a 6, and he's like, yeah, family of 5. Who knew?
Was it?
Well,
and you can't hide it either. You're in the group together, so everybody then knows your number. So
and then you gotta.
It's crazy.
You don't know what other people are in for, and you're not supposed to ask.
You got to up your game. That's what you got to do when you're in there in processing, and they're like, this guy's like, I'm a 6. What are you? And you're like, I was a 1, but now I'm a 7 because I smoke weed out of dead hookers' asses.
There's a point where you just don't even mention that it's taxes. You like, I almost killed somebody is what happened, really.
I tax that ass.
Tax that ass. But it is a crazy thing that that you go through at the
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, we gotta go. All right.
I had one more story real fast. We got time.
Well, I have to go is all I'm saying. So I'm just saying goodbye before I go.
Bye.
Bye.
Ashley said bye too.
Yeah, she said bye too. Go ahead, quick, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like COVID-19 is winding down, but we're even still discovering complications. A 69-year-old man was admitted to a hospital in Dayton back in August. He spent he almost immediately put on a ventilator, spent 11 days being treated, where they finally had to do an emergency thing to help air keep going through his lungs, and they turned him up down onto his stomach, which apparently is an emergency procedure for this. And when they finally went back several hours later to flip him back over, no, they found that
they found a gun.
The butthole can stretch 7 inches.
They found that
no wonder you couldn't breathe. You didn't have COVID, sir. You had a gun in your ass.
I know.
They found that apparently being upside down excited him. He was fully erect, and they tried for 3 hours with ice packs to get it back down. They eventually had to go in with a needle and remove the blood from
these stories already.
You love these erection stories.
I know.
It's the moped. It's this.
I'm just saying that apparently an erection lasting longer than 4 hours is a symptom of COVID now. So watch out.
I think I need a couple of weeks off of work.
I know.
I know. There's some women like this.
Well, quarantine me and call me Sally.
All right, that is the WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. Thank you, Tiefel and Demetrius and Donny and Ashley and Gina. I'm Andrew Z. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Come on.